Welcome, friends. We are your hosts, Sandy and Wade, baby best friends turned husband and wife and business partners.
This podcast is for the dreamers, the movers and shakers, and those who seek to attract their dream life.
Strap in. Getting magnetic in 3, 2, 1.
Like attracts like. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
This moment in time, this is your time to rise.
Today's episode is absolutely magnetic. Before we get into that, do you guys remember? Did you happen to listen to episode 64 with Fraser Brooks? The title was Make People Feel Legendary. That episode made anyone who listened to it feel absolutely legendary. If you haven't caught it, I would go back and listen to that today after this one. But on that episode, we got this idea from Fraser that we would get Venmo or PayPal $50 for a random review that was left that week. So we wanted to follow up on our word and read the winner's review off, and we're going to follow up with you and send it. This came in from Tasha. The subject of the review was life changed, period. Oh my gosh, chills. She said, I'm not sure I can put into words what Sandy and Wade have done for me. I don't know them personally, but their zest for life and love for everyone reminded me what life is for and what life is about. They caused a major turning point in my life, and I'm forever grateful. Listen to these podcasts, eat them up, apply them in your life, and watch your life change. So grateful. And she threw a 5-star review on it. Gosh, that is just so amazing. So Tasha, we will find a way to connect with you. Thank you so much for that just heartfelt review. We'll find a way to connect with you. And you guys, this is why we do it. This is why we do it, for truly for you, for the listener, to help inspire you to go out and just live the life that you truly desire. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Sandy to introduce today's guest. But before I kick it over to Sandy, Tasha, congratulations again. We will find a way to connect with you and Venmo you or PayPal $50 coming your way.
Do you know who Allie Reeves is? Allie Reeves is a social media strategist and mentor who started her business in 2018 with one intention, and that intention was to help as many women as possible grow profitable businesses on social media with ease. Since then, she's mentored and educated thousands of women with her free content, virtual coaching and trainings, and is the host of her podcast, Six Figure Influencer. Welcome, Allie.
Allie Reeves, the six-figure influencer. Welcome to Getting Magnetic. So excited to connect with you today.
So freaking excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Okay, first question we have for you.
Okay.
The title of our podcast is Getting Magnetic. What does Getting Magnetic mean to you?
Oh, starting off with a good one, huh? What does getting magnetic mean to me? I think, and by the way, I love the title of your podcast. And I was so, like, as soon as I saw that pop up, I was so attracted to it because I'm all about some energy and I'm like obsessed with learning more about energy. And I think the term getting magnetic to me just means understanding that everything is energy. What you put out comes back to you. And when you understand that and really cultivate that just in life, in business, in general, to me, it kind of makes things easier, because at the end of the day, it's like, be a good human, help people, have some fun, and it will come back to you in some way. So to me, it seems like that's what you guys are teaching on the podcast and demonstrating that, like, what you put out there will come back, and here's how to do it in fun ways that will build a business.
Yes, we're all about energy, man. That's so like our vibe. Okay, before we get into like who Allie is and all the fun things, we like doing a quick little this or that. Just like
get to know you a little bit.
Get to know Allie.
We don't have the questions prepared. We're just going to spitball
We're just going to spitball it. Okay, so first things first, we're going to like think about like, okay, the morning. Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee all day. Mm-hmm.
Okay, sleeping in or up early?
Lately, up early. But it depends. It depends because both, I mean, I believe in both so much. I think it depends. When my baby was younger, it was sleep because I was dying. But now that I think like once you have a good routine, up early, 100%.
Okay, it's seasonal. Got it.
Okay, let's talk holidays. Are you more of a Christmas gal or a Thanksgiving gal?
Ew. What about Halloween?
Halloween? I love it.
Yeah.
Option C. Why do you love Halloween?
It's just fun. I grew up like obsessed with Hocus Pocus, and I get so excited for it. And the leaves changing. I live in Tennessee, so we're really lucky we get to see all the seasons. And there's just something about like a beautiful fall vibe and the pumpkins, and it also kicks off holiday season too. And so if I had to choose Thanksgiving or Christmas, I go with Christmas.
Yeah, the fall season is such a vibe. Okay, date night, cozy night in, you guys maybe make dinner together or like go out, you get dressed, fancy date night?
In for sure.
Okay, let's see. Next vacation, Australia or Europe?
Europe, definitely. I've only been to Spain.
Ooh, we gotta add stamps to the passport.
We're going to Greece for our baby moon in a few months, so we're excited for that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I can't wait to see the pictures. I want to go to Greece so bad. It looks incredible.
Okay, beach or mountains?
Beach, for sure.
Yes, we live by the beach. That's same with us. But you're near like the Smoky Mountains, right, in Tennessee? Didn't know if you maybe mountains.
Yeah. And they're okay. I just feel like, and people will come after me for saying this, but like you've seen one mountain, you've seen them all. It's not true. But I don't know. I'm definitely more of a beach type of chick. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Last one. Podcast or book?
Podcast, of course. Of course. I'm a big fan of being able to like do multiple things at the same time and be able to learn and do the dishes. Sign me up.
Same.
We're about that as well. So good. Okay. Well, we're so grateful to have you here. And like we talked about, like before we hit record, like I've followed you for over a year now, have loved your podcast so much. You've added so much value to my life. And I know when we meet in person, it's just going to be like this instant.
Electric.
It's going to be magnetic. It's going to be amazing. For the meantime, we're just, doing it here on virtual. Take us through, like for someone that doesn't know who Allie is, like who is Allie? Like tell us a little bit about you. And I do want to hear your story about Six Figure Influencer and how that started and kind of your journey into entrepreneurship. But yeah, give us a little bit of background.
So who am I? Well, let's see. I'm somebody who I'm driven. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm married to the most amazing man on the planet. I'm certain of it. Besides you, Wade, I know you're a close second for sure. But I was very blessed to find like one of the best men on the planet. We have a little boy together named Cruz, who is absolutely certifiably insane in the best way. He's 3 and he's all over the place, and it definitely humbles you and keeps you on your toes. And then in addition,
I want to ask, how did you and Chris meet?
Facebook.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. Social media, like everything good in my life has come from social media.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. I met him. I was like cleaning my room one day. I had like roommates, and it was a long time ago, and I like stopped to scroll as one does. And somebody posted a picture with him, a girl that I know, like they were just friends, and they posted a picture together, and it just stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, who is this guy? And I want to be friends with him. I'd never seen him before. So I shot him a friend request, just being thirsty. I don't know. And and then I forgot about it. And he messaged me and he called me out. He was like, sorry, I don't place the name. Do we know each other? And I was like, well, shoot. Well, not yet, but no, but I totally played off. I was like, I don't know, maybe. And it was so awkward, but the rest is history. So Facebook.
You're like, we're going to get to know each other.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, love me some social media. Mm-hmm.
Go on. I'm so interested in how you got to where you are today.
Talking about like business wise, how I started this business.
Just life. Yeah, life,
Oh
everything.
gosh. Well, we don't have all day. I mean, it's like a whole thing. I guess like I knew I wanted to start some sort of business, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I thought I would like open a boutique or something. I had no clue that I would do what I'm doing now, which I think is such like a testament to life and just like going with the flow of things. But I was a bartender for a really long time. I've always I put myself through school, worked all through school, was a bartender, trying to just make it work, wasn't making enough money, got a part-time job doing social media for the bars that I was working with or for. And that's how I got into like doing social media as a job and wasn't necessarily like passionate about it. I just kind of knew what I was doing. And fast forward, I met Chris. He moved me here to Middle Tennessee. Couldn't find a job. So he was like, well, you should just freelance social media management. And that's what I did. And I ended up getting these jobs with these big local businesses. And it was like doctors and vein doctors and plastic surgeons, which was great because it happened so fast, but it was so boring. And I got like super, super burnout. And I was pregnant at the time, and I was just like, I have to figure out my business because I'm miserable. I'm making money, but this is awful. And I just had like this weird inkling that I should just start like teaching it and working with women because I would see women on social media, obviously. And, they had these businesses and these products that they genuinely believed in and they had such good hearts, but like they didn't know the strategy. They didn't know what they were doing. So I was like, well, could maybe teach that. So I just kind of threw it out there and here we are. That was 3 years ago.
Wow, I love that. So that was like, I was gonna say, was that like 3 or 4 years ago? Wow. That is so amazing. So how was like Six Figure Influencer? How did you come up with that name? Like, how did that
You took that
come
right from my
about?
brain. I was
Yeah,
thinking
like
the
I
same
want to
thing.
know, like, where did that come from?
Well, what I was teaching was an influencer, I think, has a different connotation and meaning depending on who you're talking to. But what I was teaching people how to do was just to be a human sharing something that they genuinely love and to kind of take the pressure off of it, like having to meet these big goals and these big sales goals or recruiting if you're growing a team. At the end of the day, like you believe in what you're selling. So just share about it. Create content, make it fun for people to see. When you have somebody's attention, you can get their sale. So a lot of the women that I was talking to at the time, like that was this 6-figure idea is like the ultimate goal, or at least it was. It seemed like at the time, like everybody, they wanted to bring in those 5-figure months, those 6-figure years. And so did I, by the way. And I don't know if I should like stop sharing this or what, because I don't know how people are going to take this. But when I started my podcast, I wasn't making 6 figures yet in my own business. I like my first business I had, but then but that was like a totally different model. And I knew I could do it again, but I hadn't really proven it yet. But something in me, I was like 6-figure influencer. Like that's what people at the end of the day, because to me, it's not the number. It's just like the idea of it, the whole energy, the vibe of like, if you're making 6 figures in your business, you've figured out something, like you've done something right. So that's where 6-figure influencer came about. I kind of like spoke it into existence and then hit that myself.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That is like such a good tip right there. Like, let's lean into that for a second, is like that identity, right? It's not, we have to become the person first and let the business, let the 6 figures, let the 7 figures, let whatever it is like follow suit. And so I love that point by Allie is, gosh, and that authenticity too, right? That'll probably come up in the rest of this conversation, but like that authenticity being like, I wasn't even a 6-figure influencer when I started the podcast, but guess what? The first step is believing I can be, is almost knowing I will be, is having the burning desire to create that and make it true. And when I have that belief and that knowing, it's inevitable success. And that coming true is inevitable. But let me just start being that version of Allie now and putting it out there and inspiring other people to do the same.
That's it. Like you can't hit a target that you don't even know where you're going, right? Like you can't you're going to go in multiple different directions. And I'm really big on speaking things into existence and putting them out there. But you hit the nail on the head. The other half of that is showing up as that version of that person and like walking the walk, not just sign up to talk about it. You got to do the thing too. And, I talk a lot about that myself because it's hard. It is hard sometimes.
I love it. So first of all, what gave you the confidence to like step into entrepreneurship? And then from there, like, was it just like up from there? Or was it, talk us through like the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and how it came to be, 3 years later?
Oh my gosh. It is the roller coaster of roller coasters. I know you both know this. It is not up, up, up. It never is. And I think like anybody listening, no matter what business you're trying to build, you just need to understand that that's part of it. It is what it is. I haven't heard one success story that it's just like, well, I got started and things just took off and there it is. That's it. It doesn't go like that. And I don't think it's supposed to, because it's those dips where you learn so much about yourself as a person, as a mother, as a wife, as a business owner. And then, and it just makes those peaks so much higher after that. And it sounds like so cliche, but I've found that to be true. And it's like helped me I have a lot of points where it's like, this freaking sucks. This is really hard. I mean, I just came out of like I feel like low point in my business. And Chris was like, are you okay? Like, are you still wanting to do this? I was like, yes, I'm fine. But I've gotten used to it. And I know like, it's only a matter of time, like we'll be on the up and up again. But yeah, it's just kind of riding that wave. And I think I just heard on you all's podcast when I was listening to it, I think it was Fraser Brooks who said, don't quit on a bad day. And I don't think he's the one who coined that, but it's so true. Like it's a bad day. You keep it going. You keep showing up, and over time, like you're going to get somewhere. Like baby steps add up. And that is what over 3 years, that's what I've experienced. And it's not easy to remember all the time, but it is what it is.
I love watching your journey, and I am so amazed by the content that you put out and just how you consistently show up. And I often wonder, I'm like, does she have like a massive team of people helping her? Because I see you all the time. You're going live. I'm getting emails like about, content ideas. Like I'm listening to podcasts. Like, I'm like, wow, Allie is everywhere. Like, she's so consistent. She's so like, I can just see you showing up like so authentically and so raw and so real. And it feels like it's coming like from your soul. Like, this is like something that you're so passionate about and something that you just genuinely want to share with people. And I think you really have a gift when it comes to content and sharing. And that's a huge opportunity for growth for people. Like a lot of people will reach out and ask, like, how do you grow a social media following? How do you grow an influence? And I think it's, powerful to remind people, like, we all started at the bottom and we all work our way up. Wade and I started our journey in network marketing about 3 years ago as well. Wade didn't even have his Wellness with Wade account on Instagram. Like, that didn't even exist. I was like, we need to make you an Instagram. It's going to be called Wellness with Wade because that just sounds cool.
Alliteration. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I was given like health tips, or a lot of people would ask me for it. So like, you kind of seek like, okay, where do I have influence? And I looked back the other day.
Oh my gosh.
Looking back to my original post, that's the other thing. Like, start messy, start sloppy, but start just being you, authentic, putting value out there. It was hilarious to look back. Like, I look now and I'm like, I know what presets are. I know how to do reels and different stuff and go live. And I still have so much to learn, but comparing like in a short 2 years or 3 years, 2.5 years, whatever it is, to where I started like posting pictures of like not even myself. Oh, it's so wherever you're at, know that like, committing to it in a short time, you can be wherever you want to be, really.
Yes. I think you have so much wisdom to share, like in terms of content and in terms of like growing your influence and like kind of where to start with that. Like, I would love for you to share a little bit for people listening in that maybe have a business or maybe want to start a business. Maybe they're in network marketing. Maybe they're wanting to start their own thing, but they feel like they don't know enough people, or who would want to listen to me, or there's already so much stuff like this out there. Like, I'm not like good at this? Why would anyone want to follow me? Like, and we all have those limiting beliefs. We all have, that like negative voice in our head. Like, how do you recommend like overcoming that? And do you have any like tangible tips or steps, or like, what would you tell that person?
I'm a big believer that we aren't given goals or quote dreams randomly. Not everybody wants to slay the network marketing world. Not everybody wants to be a quote 6-figure influencer. If you have those goals, there's a reason why. So I think like first and foremost, understanding that you were given that vision for yourself for a reason, whether you know how to get there or not, and just accepting and ask yourself, like, is this something that best case scenario, right? Like everything goes perfectly. Is this something that I would be so happy to do? That would make me happy if I could look into the future in 5 years and I'm top ranked in my company, or I have my own brick and mortar, or whatever that looks like, or I'm a stay-at-home mom and I get to do everything with my kids at all times. How would that make you feel? If that is a good feeling to you, then you owe it to yourself to try in some way. And for a lot of people, that's going to look like, again, those baby steps, because maybe you have a full-time job or you really don't know what you're doing. But I think like accepting that and then understand that you're worthy enough to like go for it. You should try. And from there, I think like reading books and getting into personal development and learning about your subconscious mind and limiting beliefs and why we have limiting beliefs and how they're meant to protect us and keep us safe. And by the way, we all have them. And by the way, you're going to have them at every single level of your business as you continue to grow. I think with that knowledge, there comes power and some control into it. Because I know because I know before I would get a limiting belief or think like, who are you to do this? And I would just stop. Like, you're right. Who am I to do this? I'm just little Allie, formerly Rufin from Smyrna, Tennessee, nothing, and like, who am I to have a podcast or to create that level of business, or for anybody listening? I don't know what I'm talking about, but you push through that and you say, well, I'll get there. And I think like just continuing to show up and try, and, if it looks like hiring a mentor, reading the books or whatever, that growth will come, but you do have to learn how to push through that discomfort.
What have been some of your favorite, like, what are some of your go-tos? Who are mentors or some of your favorite books or resources or podcasts? If you're having like, I don't know, a bad day or you need inspiration or something to like build your belief, like what's something that you go to?
I'm a big fan. I love Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you guys listen or read Abraham Hicks, man.
Same.
Yes.
I mean, there's
good.
some people that are going to look that up and be like, these people are crazy, but I don't care. I mean, just incredible.
Yeah.
And always just the best, like the energy of it. And of course it is, right? Like it's just the best. I always feel so much better and like I've taken a big breath of fresh air. Let's see, real people. James Wedmore. I love him. I don't know if you guys listen to the Mind Your Business podcast. He's fantastic. He also he incorporates some woo with his strategy, which is great. Mentors. I'm trying to think. I know there's somebody that I'm missing. I know there is. I'll have to think about it. But those two are like the first that come to mind that always can pull me out of a funk.
I love that. So I know a big thing that, I've been listening to a lot of your podcasts lately and just been following you for a while. And you have this concept of profitable prospecting. And I love the concept of that because I think people, especially people listening who have something to offer or who show up on social media or have a business attached and are looking to grow their brand, their influence because they have something they have to offer. And I love what you came back to in the beginning, which is like, when you believe in something, your product, your service, whatever, you share it. You aren't even necessarily selling it. You're more sharing it. With the concept of profitable prospecting, what is that? And like, how can listeners out there who do show up online kind of step into that?
Man, I'm so passionate about profitable prospecting. And I came up with the term, and I started teaching it because I I started working with people in network marketing randomly. Like it's like mostly who I work with. A lot of people who listen to my podcast are in network marketing. And it makes sense because they're the hungriest, they're the most driven. They're like ready to go, ready to learn. And I'm here for it. And the more that I started working with these women who were in these businesses, I would hear about what they were being taught by their companies and their uplines. And it was all pretty outdated, right? Like send out X amount of cold messages and just very orchestrated and impersonal and just icky, really. And it obviously wasn't getting them anywhere. And I kept seeing it over and over and over again. And what I teach, it kind of like what I said before, is just like social media, it sounds so simplistic. Like you're just sharing what you love, like bring it back to the basics. But that doesn't mean, yes, we want to create content. We want to show up and make the posts and the reels and all of that. I want you to do that. But that doesn't mean that we can't be intentional. Just because I don't want you sending cold messages and reaching out to 100 people a day with a copy and pasted message, that doesn't mean you can't be strategic. There are ways we can absolutely take control and get the algorithm to work in our favor and get in front of the right people. So what profitable prospecting to me is simply being intentional with your time and the people that you are spending time communicating with in the DMs or engagement wise. So like before I kind of understood this concept myself, we know that we need to be engaging on social media just as a practice, right? Like if you want more engagement on your content, go engage on other people's stuff. It's going to boost you in the algorithm. So a lot of people, they'll do that and they'll just engage with whoever like pops up in their feeds. But the algorithm will feed you the same people over and over again, right? Like your friends, your family, your boyfriend, your upline, I call it like the industry bubble, the people that are on your team or whatever, which is fine, except like these people aren't going to move the needle in your business. And we're busy, like we're business owners here. Like just because our business is on social media doesn't mean that this isn't work. So like you need to make sure that during that time, you're really maximizing it. So what I like to teach is in those pockets of time where you're going in, you're engaging with people, have it be people that could actually buy from you, join your team, get the freebie, sign up for your newsletter, whatever the thing is. What's your end goal? Who needs this? Who can benefit from this? And it should be mutually beneficial. Start engaging and building a rapport with those people. Because over time, when you plant those seeds, when you build that relationship, not only are you like creating a connection there, but also social media wise, when you're DMing somebody, it tells Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever that y'all are friends. So they're going to start seeing more of your content about your business and vice versa. So you're kind of getting them from both angles. And what I found is like, you're going to get a conversion so much faster than if you try and like fast track that relationship with a cold message.
So you've developed this into an app to make it easy for people to track, right?
Yes, I had to.
And it's almost like a concept of like dating, right? It's almost like date this person, like go engage with them, like strike up conversation, like notice their life, notice their lifestyle, not just like if you want to marry someone, you don't just pop in and you see them first time at the bar, like, hey, I'm down on one knee, will you marry me? Like that's what sending a cold message really is. Like, hey, will you join my team or buy my products? Like, no, like you got to build that rapport, that know, that like, that trust with them first. And I think that's like profitable prospecting, right? And why you developed the app.
Yep, that's exactly why. And that's so true, right? Like it's, especially if you're growing a team, like that is a business partnership. Nobody joins a business with somebody when you don't know them. And to propose that is very much like proposing marriage, just out of nowhere. It's creepy. It's weird. And if they say yes, you should run because that's weird, So, and that's why a lot of people like they end up growing these teams with these people that are like headaches or they don't do anything because they didn't build that relationship. So that's such a good point. But yeah, like I would be teaching profitable prospecting, and when people are like, okay, how do I do this? I would say, okay, you have to get out a sheet of paper and I want you to make a list of prospects, or get out the note in your phone or you can make an Excel sheet, which barf, like nobody wants to do that. So finally I was like, I have to do something. I have to like create something, and decided it should be an app. And luckily I have one app connection, thank you God, and that worked out. And now we have the Profitable Prospecting app, and I think it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty easy to use.
And I love that you decided to give it away for free, to create something valuable and give it away for free? I think oftentimes when, we think about like business minded, like, okay, let me build something, but I got to be compensated for this. Like, I'm not giving away for free. Why'd you decide to give it away for free?
Because I want as many people to use it as possible. And I know how people are. And also, I wasn't doing it. It wasn't like a money maker. Actually, that's not even true. Because if you look at the app, my name's all over the dang thing. So like at the end of the day, it's quite strategic, because if you download the app and it's free to you, you're going to be looking at my name all day. And I hope at some point you're like, who's this Allie Reeves girl? And you go check me out and you see the other things I have to offer you. So in a way, in a sense, like it's totally strategic, But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It didn't feel right.
That's so smart though, that there's such a good learning lesson there for anyone who's building a business, is like, find what you're good at and give it away for free, whether it's a podcast, an app. And because that's what's going to build your influence. Let's say you're like, you know what? I'm not big on social media, but I want to be. I want to start building an influence. What can I give away for free? Well, what do I know? Where am I influential? Am I an amazing mom? Do I know a lot about health? Am I a fitness professional? Am I really good at social media? Like, what is it that I can start giving away for free? That is going to build your influence, your rapport, everything. Like, and that is going to get people to know, like, and trust you. And you build a brand around yourself, like Allie is. And then when you have, hey, I coach moms. I actually coach people in health. I coach people in business or life or whatever it is, whatever you have to offer. Then it's like, wow, I've added so much value and I've built this rapport and connection. And now they trust me. And now they want to work with me to take this or that to the next level. So I applaud you there. I think that is such a smart business move.
Yes, we're so excited to use that ourselves and share that with our team. I think that's an incredible resource, and there's nothing like that out there. Like, so it was something that like the market needed,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pumped about it. I have to say too, like to your point, what you just said, I wanted to say like about influence and giving away for free, because I stand by that wholeheartedly. I tell people all the time, like, give it away for free. Just trust me. People are like, well, people can pay for it. No, just do it, because it's going to build that like, know, and trust. But also if you look at, there's so many examples of people, especially on social media, and this makes so much sense for this conversation in social media, who started by talking about the thing that they were just naturally good at, right? And like, I think an example I give for this all the time is Landon Hutchinson, Living with Landon. Okay, she's in Nashville. She started an account. She's just genuinely good with like home decor, just building a home, just like she like makes things. It's annoying. Like, she's so good with that stuff. I don't have that bone in my body. It's fascinating. But that's just genuinely what she loved. And she has great style. So she would share like the makeup that she's using, very influencer style. But that's all she did, was she did this relentlessly. She just gave it away. Next thing you know, she comes out with a website. Next thing you know, she's getting these like pretty big brand deals. Now she has one of the most popular brick and mortar boutiques in Nashville, in the L&L marketplace, Living with Landon. And I can't imagine how much money this woman is bringing in via brand deals, her own merch line, her store. And it all started with talking about the things that she genuinely loved. And I try and relay this all the time when I talk to clients. They're like, I don't know. And I'm like, what do you like? Like, do you love finding deals on Amazon? Do you love like making really fun meals for your kids? Start there, because I guarantee you, once you start sharing that, it will snowball. And then like, you're not going to see every move right now, but like you keep going, and it's like, it opens a new door, and then it opens a new door, and it can take off if you keep showing up.
And I can guarantee, that's such a good analogy or story. I can guarantee Landon wasn't like, okay, I'm just going to start relentlessly sharing what I love. If 3 months from now, like it's not catching, like I'm just going to stop. I can guarantee, release any timeline, wasn't even thinking about that, was just going and adding value. I see so many people like, okay, I want to build a business or a social media account or whatever, and is like, 3 months later or 6 months later, they're like, it's not where I want to be. I'm pivoting. And it's like, no, you got to just stay the course. You got to trust the process. You got to keep just relentlessly adding value, giving away. And as you do that, it will come. There will be that pop. There will be that realization down the road, like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been doing this all for. And yeah, you might not know when you're starting building a social media account or a business that like, okay, this is my next step. And the next step, like when Sandy started her journey in network marketing, I joined her a few months later. We didn't know years down the road we would be on this podcast with you, Allie, or we would have a bunch of different businesses or all this stuff. You start to like roads and paths open up along the way, which has been really cool and just something, but you got to stay committed to the process. Okay, I want to pivot another thing, which Sandy brought up, but what I think a lot of people get confused with a little bit or don't have that natural inclination for is like, okay, I want to show up online, but like, where do I start? How do I do it? How do I organize my thoughts? I know you just released like 100-day social media calendar, which we signed up for, but talk me through like how you think about approaching a day, a week, a month, 100 days. Like, how do you organize? Like, okay, here's my content strategy.
I tell people simplify it by first getting clear on what your business goal is. So this is mostly applicable to business owners, but anybody, maybe you haven't found your business yet. You're in that like weird stage. Okay. Maybe your goal is like to start growing an email list or just like boost your engagement. That's a business goal as well. So we're businesses. We have to align our content, like we're businesses, our office is social media. So like you have to align your strategy to your business goals. So get clear on that. And then what I like to do is I like to split it up per week. And I know you have a lot of network marketers who are listening. So like oftentimes your goals are going to look like, I need to sell this amount of product and then recruit this many people. Awesome. So take those goals and split it up per week in the month. So if there's 4 weeks in a month, let's say 2 weeks you want to focus on selling those products, 2 weeks you want to focus on recruiting. Awesome. So now we have our goal per week. Now, let's say our first week is we want to sell this specific product. And I recommend focusing on one. That's just, I think like people need repetition. They need to hear the same thing a few different times for it finally like seeps in and they get it. So pick a product or a couple of products. And then at that point, put yourself in your ideal client's shoes. Fill out an ideal client profile if you haven't yet, and then put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, like, what questions does this person have about this product? Or what would get them excited about wanting to try this? So if you sell skincare and your ideal client is a woman in her 30s, she's likely going to want to hear about the anti-aging benefit or the hydration or whatever. Right? Like, what does your ideal person need to know? What are her objections? Where is she confused about? What are her drivers? And then come up with content ideas from there, right? Like, what can we talk about? And I'm a big fan of, going to like TikTok and scrolling your industry or similar industries just to get ideas of how they put together like 3 ways to do blank, 3 mistakes people make when they're trying to look younger. I don't know. And then like start making a list. So yeah, that was the 100 days of killer content. I was like, okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to send you a content prompt every single day. And then you can take that and personalize it for your business. But start with your business goals first. Because if you're not hitting your business goals, you're not going to be able to make the content anymore after that.
I love that. Good. So how can people get involved? I know your 100 days of killer content started on July 1st. Is it too late for people to get on board with that, or how can they get involved?
Not too late at all, because what I do is no matter what day you sign up, you get a PDF with all of the previous day's prompts. So you'll get all of them whenever you sign up. So yeah, I'm going to get you guys actually a code for your specific audience for, just to make it to where the previous price price has gone up. I'll give you a code to get the previous price, like $27. It's crazy. And then they could get started.
I love that you break it down. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are business related posts. Tuesday, Thursdays are like hobbies. And then Saturday, Sundays are like personal posts. So there's so much intentionality in like the strategy behind it. I think sometimes we can sit there and overthink and overthink and overthink and then just not end up doing anything. And that's like, no, we got to have a strategy, right? You got to treat this like a business, truly. And I love that you provide that resource. So we'll definitely have to share that in the show notes. So aside from obviously your podcast and profitable prospecting and 100 days of killer content, you have so many things going on, which is so amazing. People can also work with you like one-on-one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I work with people one-on-one as they come. And if it's a good fit, yeah, I love working with people one-on-one. It's fun getting to do that.
So what's the focus there? Is that like, what would you say? Are you like a business coach, a social media coach, a life coach? Like what's your, I guess, how do you position that?
Definitely not a life coach. You do not want my advice about life. Social media though, I got you. I would say it's kind of like social media online strategy because it's very focused on social media, but also like we need to be growing your email list. I want to align all of your content with all of the social media platforms that you're on. So maybe you have a Facebook group and an Instagram, or you want to do Pinterest or whatever. Like I am the biggest fan of repurposing content and just making your job easier. So just really like that whole strategy and aligning it with your business goals and also like helping people create collaborations, strategic collaborations to grow their audience or whatever their goal might be. That's what I love helping with. Yeah.
Amazing. We'll wrap it up in asking, where we can connect with you, and we'll drop that in the show note links. But I have a question. What are you most, as we come to the end of our conversation here, I want to know, what are you most excited for in life right now?
Man, that's a deep one, Wade. I would say my big thing right now is like trying to find some more balance. I think and I'm sure you guys can relate to this. Like when you're growing a business, it's just grind, go, go, go. And I'm still doing that, but like I'm kind of at a place now where I'm, thank God, able to bring in more support. And I'm figuring out a bit of a strategy that's working well for my business and just kind of focusing a bit more time on my baby boy and my family and trying to figure out that elusive balance. And it's not going to be perfect, but I think like being in quarantine and cooped up, like I'm ready to live life again and travel and say yes to things and go on retreats and all of that. So I'm really looking forward to getting out of the house and just kind of embracing life a little bit more with my family.
I love that. That's what, oftentimes when we start a business, we got to know the underlying why. And usually it's for family. It's for that freedom to travel and be with our family and loved ones and spend that time, like live life, right? So it's so important to keep that in our focus. So
but
cool.
Oftentimes it's the first thing that gets imbalanced because to grow towards that, you sometimes have to sacrifice that at first, right? And so it can feel like, wait, the whole reason I'm doing this is for more time with my family or for this or for that. And I'm actually going backwards. It can feel like that. And so I would just say to anyone listening, like we've been there. We've been completely imbalanced before where we're like, wow, like we don't really spend time to like, there's been chapters where we're like, when was the last time we went on a date? Like, and like we're together all the time working, but we would be like, when was the last time we like dated each other, And so we've learned and we're continuing to learn, but we now have like weekly dates that we do and things that we've like implemented. They're like non-negotiables for us, but sometimes you have to like almost go backwards or feel that imbalance to like set those boundaries and be like, okay, like we gotta switch something up here. But I love that. I have so enjoyed our time with you, Allie. You're just like this magnetic beacon of light and I love your energy and I'm so happy that you're here. And I would love for you to tell our audience, how can they connect with you? Like podcast, Instagram, website, like what are all the things?
Thank you. By the way, I think you're the first person that's ever called me a beacon of light. So I'm excited thank you guys. My podcast is Six Figure Influencer. Show up there weekly. My Instagram account is at Allie I Reeves, ALLIE Reeves. And I'm there all the time. I have a Facebook group, Six Figure Influencer. So those are the main places where you can find me.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. This has been an incredible conversation, going to add so much value to all the listeners out there. And we've appreciated getting to know you better and look forward to whenever it is. I have a feeling we'll meet each other in person. And that's going to be, so too. That's going to be pretty
Absolutely.
epic.
come out to Nashville. I'm telling you guys, it'll be so much, or I'll just come out to California.
Yeah, either way, both.
Yeah.
That's fine too. Is there anything else on your heart, Allie, that you want to share with our audience? Anything else that's like lingering that you're like, oh, I need to say this?
Just keep going. You're going to figure it out. Put one foot in front of the other. Keep going. If it's on your heart, if you want to do it, just go for it. And it's going to be a grind. It just is. Anything worth building is going to take some time and some patience, and it's not always going to be fun, but you don't want to look back and regret not at least trying. So just keep at it.
So good. Thank you, Allie.
Thank you, guys.
I'm fired up right now. And if you guys have not caught on by now, when I love something, I tell everyone. So you heard us mention Allie's 100 days of killer content. I'm personally doing it. I'm loving it. I'm getting so many ideas and inspiration thinking outside the box. She's giving me so much content and just fuel for my posts, for my stories, for how to engage with people. And she wanted to extend this resource to you. So if you want to join me in this 100 days of killer content and you want to up your social media game, you're going to want to use our discount code. It's all caps magnetic to get $10 off.
That is amazing. I mean, like, social media is a great tool, but it can get like, okay, what do I post? Where do I go? What structure do I have? Allie is a pro at it, social media strategist, mentor. She just lays it out for 100 days straight to give you prompts, to give you ideas. So you don't have to spend mental energy doing that. Sandy's doing it. She's sending me the prompts as well. I'm excited to start doing it as well. And if that adds value to you guys, check it out and connect with Allie. But if you got value out of today's episode, what would it take for you to throw up a 5-star review or leave a written review or both? That is what keeps this show going. That is the rocket fuel to this show. And we are so appreciative and grateful for you. And if you got value out of it, screenshot this episode right here, right now, throw it up on social media, tag Allie Reeves, tag Getting Magnetic, tag Sandy and myself, and do us a favor and have an incredible rest of your day. Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible.
So remember, you are magnetic.